let us dive in right now with the first movie of the week. It's a movie that actually Bruce saw about a week and a half ago, Slashback, and we didn't have the time to cover it. Bruce, let's start off with you. Is it available on Shudder right now? What's the premise? And you and Eric can review this movie.
Yes, Slashback is available right now on Shudder. I think it's been out now for, I want to say, about not quite a week. I think it officially came out like last Thursday, which by the time you get this, it'll be out about a week. Directed by, oh boy, this is going to be full of names that I can't say.
You go
So,
All right.
Nyla Innuksuk.
yeah, what he said. Nyla Innuksuk, directed by that person. And it takes place in this Inuit village very, very, very far north, like into the Arctic Circle. And it looks to be all filmed on location, kind of similar to the movies of Chloe Zhao. I believe mostly the teenagers in this movie are played by actual members of that community that it's being filmed at. That is kind of the big thing to take into account right out of the gate. These are not professional actors. You are not going to get high tier professional acting, but you might make up for that with the kind of a can-do, let's make a movie kind of approach that this has. The basic concept is the small village in the middle of summer in the Arctic Circle, so they don't ever get darkness in their nighttime. The nighttime is just slightly dimmer than the daytime. And during a big chunk of this movie, I think it's supposed to be the longest day of the year. Big chunk of this movie, the parents in the town are all having the longest day of the year party, where I guess they all go together and get drunk. And the latchkey kids, these are all probably mid to young teen, mostly young women in this movie, find themselves undergoing some sort of a possible alien invasion. And since they're obsessed with Carpenter's The Thing, they think they're equipped, along with some of their hunting practices they've been taught over the years, to deal with this threat. And that's kind of the basic concept of the movie.
That sounds like so much fun. I, Eric Holmes, was this movie fun for you to watch? You said Slashback forever. Yeah. What did you think?
Yeah, it's definitely rough around the edges, but like Bruce said, like when you get non-actors in there, you kind of have to expect something like that, or non-professional actors, whatever term you want to use. But I think that's kind of the fun of this. It's kind of like imagine getting a bunch of your friends together and making a movie, and the person shooting and editing the movie is just really good at it. And so it's got the pulpy kind of alien invasion kind of storyline to it. The filmmaking of it's really good, and the acting's kind of hit and miss. But I don't know how to explain it. It feels almost like you're rooting for the movie. It adds a bit of charm to the movie that wouldn't be there if you had like name actors that had been doing it for a while. Another one of the things I liked about the movie, not so much about the movie, but of what this could mean in the future. I would like to see these group of filmmakers and these local actors get together and do something else, whether it's Slashback 2 or a completely different story. Bruce mentioned like an indie spirit. That's kind of what this is. I just want to see these people work together and have some fun on screen and, come up with whatever wacky stories they can. We reviewed Sam and Maddie Make a Zombie Movie.
Yes.
Sam and Maddie, like the documentary is the documentary, but the movie within that is very rough around the edges. But it's so much fun to watch because Sam and Maddie's personality come through, even though they're not the greatest actors, not the greatest filmmakers, but that doesn't matter in this context. Similar with Flashback, like the acting's not the best, but the charm is all there. And in the movie itself, the story is pretty good science fiction horror movie. And yeah, I would definitely recommend it. It's cute as hell. And still kind of still manages to be kind of gross and scary at times. And yeah, definitely check it out.
Did it surprise you, Eric, that it was this good? I mean, were you expecting something lower at the end, and did it pleasantly surprise you? That's what I mean.
I didn't know about the actors before watching it. I found that out after the fact. So as I'm watching it, I kind of noticed the acting was a bit stiff, but the kids were charming enough that I just kind of let it go. And then when I found out that the filmmakers, they got the local kids in the area, in retrospect, it just made me like the movie even more. And I already liked it to begin with.
Oh, very cool. This is a very positive review from Eric Holmes, Bruce Purkey, along the same lines.
Yes, along the same lines. And I would just highlight a couple things. One thing that I really loved about it is it's in the community with the real people. And I think that you get to see, there's a lot of little details in this movie just on like where they live or how they live, or just how they get around the area they're in and on like bikes or 4x4s, or how they hunt. There's little details that seem absolutely individual and probably true to life that wouldn't probably be in there if this was made by like a big Hollywood film in a setting that everyone knows. But here it's like it's just incorporating the actual lives of these people, and it doesn't call attention to itself. It's just there. So you kind of love that. And I also love a couple of little things like in the midst of preparing or battling with these aliens, there's moments where they still, the girls are going to have like arguments over, who gets to be with the guy they all think is cute and stuff like that. Just little charming moments like that, it almost feels like they let them have some input too. I don't know if they did, but it almost feels like that because that also is really, I don't know, it just really adds a level of character to them, even if the acting chops maybe aren't quite there. But I was like Eric, I thought it was just tons of fun.
Eric mentioned a possible Slashback 2 or whatever productions come out of this area. Do you want to see more from this troupe?
Sure. I would love to see it. It could be even a different story. I mean, I would like to see him do more things. Like he said, you root for this movie unless you're just heartless, a heartless, soulless
As Bruce
person.
has been known to be.
It's true.
Or-
And stay tuned to the rest of this episode. It may come out.
Okay. Well, we're getting the
I-
good. Yes, sorry, Eric. Go
I
for
was
it.
also going to bring up, I really hope that they kind of keep getting to make movies, because how cool would that be to watch like all the kids that were in Slashback do another movie and then another movie, and then we get to watch them, because they're not going to be unprofessional actors forever. If they keep going, they're going to get better at what they do. How cool would that be to just watch their growth in their art form as the movies progress? Like to me, like the potential for that is just really tickles me. And
Okay.
I love it, and I hope they get to keep making movies over and over again.
That is very positive review from you, Eric Holmes. Let's get to the sort of down and dirty star system. What stars? How many stars do you give Slashback?
I'd probably go 4 stars. It was fun, definitely rough around the edges, so you can't really give it a 5 stars. But I mean, 4 stars is still pretty good, and I had a lot of fun with it. I'd totally watch it again.
All right, Bruce, you.
Exactly the same. 4 stars.
4 stars. 4 stars for Slashback. Currently streaming as we speak on Shudder. I am putting words in Bruce's mouth. I think it's one of Bruce Purkey's favorite streaming services. Am I right, Bruce?
You are correct. It is the best value for the dollar.
I'm not, yeah, best value for the dollar. And also, I'm assuming that you have found most of your gems or the movies that you really love via the Shudder service, even over the other big time streaming service. Am I too forward to say that as far as just in aggregate, as far as the movies?
I would say so, because some of my other favorite movies of the year, we've seen some definitely through different screeners, but not necessarily through one of the services. But I probably found more favorites this year that came from a service from Shudder. A lot of them as debuts on Shudder. So that should tell you something.
Okay, very, very good. Okay, so that is Slashback. Very good. 4 stars for both my buddies, my betters, Eric and Bruce.